Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. We will soon come to the story of a blessed family, the family of Ali Imran, which Maryam alayhi salam, along with Isa alayhi salam, are descendants of. And in the beginning of that story, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us something very, 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 very important. He says, ذُرِّيَّةً بَعْضُهَا مِنْ بَعْضٍ. Children that are similar to their parents. And before I get into the encouragement and encouraging parents and even the young ones to be better, scientific data, psychological inquiry has shown that the state of mind and the state of well-being of a parent goes down to their children. To the extent that if a parent has been traumatized in their life, some of that trauma will trickle down to their children, and they will have to deal with that. And so before we even think about how we can help our children be believers, we need to work on ourselves first and foremost. Because who we are will very much trickle down into who our children will be. And all of us, I am 100% certain of this. Parents sitting in this room, I 100% believe you want your children to be better than you. You want your children to be more successful than you. You want everything more for your child. I have no doubt of that. But as we work towards securing them and helping them find financial stability, finding success in the world, we need to realize that the success that we achieve in our iman is also a heavy indicator of their success in terms of retaining iman. ذُرِّيَّةً بَعْضُهَا مِنْ بَعْضٍ. Children are like and copies of their parents. And so how can we make our children better? How can we help them be better? How can we really help them be believers in times when everyone is going left and right? Well, again, it starts with the self. Improve yourself in order to improve your child. And never expect that you can give your child something you don't have. How can we give them iman when our iman is weak? How can we give them akhlaq, manners, when our manners is suffering? How can we give them stability when our own lives are unstable? So we start with ourselves in order to give something better to our children. And where do we need to work on? Well, there's a bunch of things that we can do. But what I'm going to recommend each and every one of us, and for those who are younger and who don't have children, maybe they're not even thinking about children, it won't happen for another decade or so. Still, it doesn't matter. Work on yourself now so that you reap the rewards later. It's an investment. The first thing we need to improve is our sidq, our truthfulness, our honesty. Because as the Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّ الصِّدْقَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ وَإِنَّ الْبِرَّ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. Honesty, truthfulness leads to piety, and piety leads to paradise. The more we can improve our truthfulness, our trustworthiness, then the more we're able to give that to our children, the more our children will see that from us and will have that expectation upon themselves. The second thing is manners in general. Yes, sending our children to Sunday school or Saturday school or Quran school is great. Props to the parents who do that. But if we're not living as believers at home, then all of that is just going to evaporate. It's just going to evaporate. Why should I expect my child to be a good, well-behaved Muslim when I myself am not a good, well-behaved Muslim? And how are they going to retain that when they see the opposite in their parents? So focusing on manners overall and in generally, but within those manners, al-karam, graciousness, is very, very important. Because as Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala says, he gathered with a bunch of scholars and righteous people. And the thing that they all agreed upon is that someone who is stingy and mean will never be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so if we want better for our children, well, let us learn graciousness. Let us learn generosity so that we may help our children be better believers than we are. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq. There's a few quick